Hi, I'm Dani Louise Smith, the Queen of Business Organisation, and I'm here for an episode of the Business Growth Podcast with guest Emmy King. And today we're going to be talking about relaxation for the whole family during busy periods. But before we get into this discussion, Emmy, do you want to introduce who you are and what you do?
Sure. So thank you for having me on, Danny. Really appreciate it. I'm Emmy King. I am a creative virtual aromatherapist. And I'm also a founder and director of a community interest company, which evolved throughout the pandemic. Help families towards the kind of like the mental well-being and improving their kind of physical well-being as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that is literally you in a nutshell, isn't
Yeah.
it? And one of my own clients actually has been using Emmy's services to create, I guess, what you're all about, creating calm
Mm.
during a stressful personal time. And
Yeah.
it's amazing actually because she's still been showing up for a business. So I think it shows how much of an
Yay.
impact what you're like teaching and talking about have on people. And that's just one individual
Brilliant.
person. So can you imagine for like a family? So,
Thank you.
what I'd like to know actually is
Mhm.
how this idea came about, how you got into this business, and kind of what's happening in your world in
Uh-huh.
terms of obviously I know, but for my listeners to tell us
Yeah.
about the calm ban and how that came about and a little bit about your backstory, really.
Sure. Okay. Where to start? So mainly this year, so 2024, become I've been evolving as a business owner, and because I have two strands to my business, I wanted to bring it all under one roof. So I literally I've always had this interest in maybe creating a calm space that people can come to, so an actual bricks and mortar business. Um, that families can come to, individuals can come to, and they can just create some calm for themselves. So that is where the calm barn has kind of evolved from. I'm a busy mum myself. I've got a 12-year-old little boy, and I just wanted, I think more for me than for anybody else, was to kind of create this little nook of like a sanctuary in a way of taking yourself away from a situation that you find yourselves in, especially within busy periods when you're just constantly on the go. We all have busy lives as well. So I wanted to create a space where people would feel like they could come to create their own kind of community as well, and relax together, either as a family or as an individual. So that's what I'm hoping from the Calm Barn will bring for people. At the moment, it is a virtual entity with an offshoot to my community interest company, which is the Empathy Holistic Buddies, which is more the kind of child orientated stuffs that I do, with regards to relaxation and kind of like the well-being side for kind of child development and things like that. So yeah, that's me.
So basically, you get to have fun looking after
Yeah.
people and play with babies.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah,
You
practically
do,
it.
don't you? And I
Um,
love it when I see your pictures and you've got to
Thank
do
you.
these amazing sessions. I love it. Like I can't imagine like the dopamine hit that you get off of that.
It's a bit of a high. Yeah, definitely. Had
Yeah,
a couple
I imagine
couple of
it is.
extra mums come along today, actually. So that was like six mums in a room, and I'm only just starting this local session. So yeah, I'm really feeling
Amazing.
good about that fact,
I
putting them
love
all
that. I love
together.
that you've literally, I love the balance of you being able to deliver that this morning,
Mm,
two mums and their babies, and then you've
yeah,
come here to then record a
yeah,
podcast. Like that is
yeah,
my vibe,
definitely.
the balance of having it
Yeah,
all.
definitely.
Um, And I think it's really interesting as well what you do because it is important. Like thinking back to when I first became a mum, that big life change actually was hard to juggle. And then even when I became a mum of two, oh my God, that was even harder than the first time. And I think often it's because we're already busy in life. Life is busy.
Yeah.
Some of us start a business or
Hmm.
start a new job or we maybe work up the career ladder and we
Yeah.
become very, very busy as women, don't we? And it becomes
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
struggle to
You just
prioritize
need time to
relaxation.
kind of ground yourself again and
Yeah.
calm yourself as well. Like you're always kind of often giving to others. And I think we
Yes.
forget about ourselves, definitely.
What do you find is like the most common struggles when it comes to maybe parents or mums when they are facing like, so we've just been talking, haven't we, about busy periods of
Hmm.
the year, like
Yeah, yeah.
coming up to summer or coming up to Instagram, Christmas,
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up to Christmas.
Mhm.
We're always doing so many things. Like we're actually recording this in summer and like we've just had to obviously buy school uniform, plan all the
Yeah.
activities for summer as well as
Mhm.
work and all the things. And then Christmas is the same for
Yeah,
families, isn't it? Like
yeah,
planning
yeah.
Christmas activities, school plays, the shopping, the wrapping, all of it.
Hmm.
There's so much more at Christmas actually.
Yeah,
And I think when you're juggling life in general, it's crazy and busy. But then you throw on these things as well,
it is. Yeah.
it's challenging. So what do you think is the most common struggles when it comes to relaxation during these busy periods?
I think depending on the age of your child would kind of possibly change how you are within these busy periods that you find yourselves in as well. So let me think. Big struggles. Um,
I think the biggest thing I hear
Time.
is time. Yeah,
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. So time to have that space for yourself, or even time, relaxation time with your child as well. Like there's always something
Yeah,
that needs to happen. I don't know, even if it's just literally just getting the dishes done or hanging out the washing on the line.
yeah,
That those types of things are very tricky depending on the age of your child. Obviously, when they are older school age children into teenage years, they have maybe less of a, well, maybe even more of a demand because they are who they are at this point in time. But maybe like smaller babies and toddlers need a bit more kind of one-to-one time with each parent if possible. So maybe that's a struggle, is finding the balance of
yeah.
how to make that time for yourself as well. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I agree. I've got to
Oh,
say, I really do agree. So, as a family, this is something we've worked on, and as you
mhm.
know, I mean, many listeners know that I've got a Sen child,
Yeah,
and only one of them is free is Sen. So far, I say,
yeah,
so we shall see.
yeah, yeah.
But like part of the things that's helped is implementing, and it's hard because there's so
Mhm.
many of us as a family of five,
Yeah,
one-to-one time with it, even now, like even though the oldest
mm,
is 10,
yeah,
one-to-one time with the children, but then also time together as
yeah,
parents, mum
yeah,
and dad. Well, maybe not in that moment, not be mum and dad, just be us,
yeah,
and then time for
mhm,
ourselves.
yeah.
Um, and I agree, I think it is a challenge, although not impossible, is it? So I thought we've actually
Oh,
got some questions that I want to ask in terms of how you view trying to create this idea of calm, because obviously
mhm,
when things are calm, we are more relaxed. It's really
yeah,
has its health benefits, doesn't
mhm,
it?
yeah, definitely.
Physically and mindfully as
Yeah.
well. Um, so how would you create more calm for your family, for your whole family actually?
Definitely. So um having time to do even just like little simple things like playing a board game, taking yourself away from devices, TVs,
Yeah.
all those types of things, and just slowing your systems down together. I mean, sometimes it can erupt from a
It
board
can,
game, say.
can't
It can, depending on siblings, but I think like just taking it back to simplicity, like being in nature as well, even just going in the garden. I mean, I guess the nicer weather entices you out more than maybe the rain
Mhm.
or the snow or the ice, but even just getting out together, even if it's just a short little walk, just down, even just down to the local shops and back again, you're having that time, and the amount of information you get from children in that time of walking or space as well is fantastic, because you might not get hardly anything out of them during the week, but if you just take that time, even walking back from school, they'd be able to do that. That's a good time for them to have that switch off between school and home. I know from a fact, being a car driver myself, the difference in Benjamin to me driving him home, to me even just getting the bus back with him at the moment is amazing, because you get that
Yeah,
additional half an hour with them that you don't get. They just switch off. They just have to switch off when they get straight back in through the door. They go and
yeah,
do whatever they need to do. But I think it's just having those little, again, time to just stop and just kind of reflect as well. It gives you a chance to reflect for your day.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, time out.
I find that so interesting that you chose to say that because
Right.
we do board games. We love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually what's interesting is naturally everybody puts their devices down because we're focused on the
Yeah.
game.
Hmm.
Unless it is a game on a device like the Switch. So we do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the Switch game
Yeah.
sometimes, but we tend to now these days play board games more than the
Hmm.
Switch. So that's quite cool.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I found interesting was about getting out in nature because that's something I'm massively doing at the
Hmm.
minute. And when I speak to clients who are finding it challenging to find balance,
Yeah.
I say something different. I say similar about like prioritizing your time between things. It's like having the time for you
Hmm.
and looking after your health as well as
Yeah.
making sure your business is running, which is so important. And getting out into nature, like as well.
Hmm.
Sometimes the weather can be an obstacle, but I'm one of these parents that like, let's just let them put the welly boots on and go
Let's
get
just go.
drenched.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah,
they can
yeah.
always get warm and showered afterwards. They'll
Yeah, yeah.
survive.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think
Part of
sometimes
being
having a,
British, I think, isn't it?
it is actually, yeah,
Just
we
go and
kind of
do it,
get used
otherwise
to
you'll
it
never do
now.
anything.
We're used to the up and downness of the weather here, but we still
Yeah.
complain about it, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it does make a difference, and I think those are really good ideas because you kind of fit it into your daily
Yeah, yeah,
routine. Like,
definitely.
and I say the same with the commute to work for business
Hmm.
owners around that time to just disassociate from being mum to being business owner because this
Yeah.
is something many people find as a struggle.
Yeah.
And I think it like you say, it's the same
Hmm.
thing with finding that time between like getting home from school and walking. Yeah.
But I have to say, when you were saying what you've just said, I've realised that I'm more productive if I've been for a walk
Oh,
before I
me too.
start my day. So I
Yeah.
have been trying to plan that in, but I'm lucky that I literally, having said about the driving and the bus thing, dropped him off, and then I literally go to this country park and I walk around there. I do a lap of the country park, and then I'm back here for 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
which is like a kind of normal average work day for most people. So I don't feel like it's not a doable option. And a lot of my sessions start at 10. So
Mm,
therefore, I've given myself enough time to get from mum mode into the business owner mode. I think
yeah.
that's quite a good thing for people to maybe try and do, even if you don't have that school run to worry about anymore. What you can, it's going to sound so stupid this, but it does work for a lot of people, is you can go out the front door, walk round and come back in the back door or the other way around, because then
Yeah.
mindset wise, you've triggered yourself to think, I'm in work mode now, I'm not in home mode. That washing, if it's not done before I go out, it can wait.
Yeah, I
That
agree with
type
that
of thing.
so much because I think
Mm.
we get so, especially with creating like balance between
Yeah,
family and
yeah,
life,
yeah, yeah.
it can be chaotic, but actually what you're saying here is how we can
Mm.
calm it down a bit,
Yeah,
which I love because you're literally
yeah,
backing up everything I say right now, which I
yeah.
love. But it's yeah, I agree so much, and I love that's quite
Yeah.
interesting about like walking through the door. But we do beat ourselves up about the
Mm.
washing. Like
Yeah,
full honesty, my sink right now is
yeah,
full because my husband's
yeah,
having one of his days where he's had to go to bed. So I'm like, you go to
yeah,
bed.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm working and I've just been on lunch break. But was I standing at that sink? No. I sat and
No,
ate my lunch and
no.
watched a bit of TV, had some time for myself,
Yeah,
and then came back to work.
yeah.
So,
Which is what people should
yeah,
do that,
I
because
can do it after the school run
if you were
and
out at
before
work,
tea. Yeah,
you wouldn't have that. You would be in an office or you'd be on a shift situation
exactly. Yeah.
somewhere. You wouldn't be at home. So why should you? It's
Exactly.
it's not,
We've got to
you're not
kind of
paid for
treat
it.
it the same, don't we? And
Yeah,
find a way
yeah,
to make it work
yeah, yeah,
in the time that we have,
yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Okay.
How
Yeah,
would you create, so like we are talking about working in an office, and
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
my office right now actually,
Hmm.
and I love mine. And it feels quite calming when I'm in here. Calming in a way, not
Yeah,
not
no,
always
same
calm.
here.
Sometimes my energy rises, but I'm
Yeah.
still happy and calm.
Hmm.
How would you create calm within your home office then? Or even
Oh,
if
good
it's not a
question.
home office, maybe some tips for people in an actual office as well.
Office. Oh, interesting. So, the ideas I've got would be try and have as much natural light as possible, because sometimes I know offices are getting a lot better, like these new kind of co-working spaces and all that type of stuff have got nice lighting in, but
Yeah.
for some people that can be a huge trigger, is the lighting around them. So like those strip lights that you get, I know a lot of them have changed now and they're a lot more kind of calmer for the eyes, and when you're under them all day, um I think the more natural light is the way forward. But if you don't have a window in your space, then there are like nice like color changing bulbs you can get for lamps, just making it a bit more cozier, calmer. Maybe it's easier said than done. It depends on the office setup, I guess, if you're out of a home office. Maybe having a break. They say between 20 and 30 minutes, don't they? They say get up, walk around, have some time to just debrief from what's in your brain and get that out. But I was thinking more of like kind of having a diffuser maybe for aromatherapy oils, because I'm just a great believer in them, and they really help me to kind of refocus, to calm me, and to uplift me as well. So I have different blends that I use at different times, and so maybe an oil diffuser. But then if you're sharing a space, that can be a bit tricky. So even if you can pop a few drops in like an atomizer bottle, I'll give you away all my tips and tricks now, but into some water, and then you've got it to spray just around you maybe, or onto you. So that would be a way of getting aromatherapy out there into your space. The other thing, so I'm just checking, just wrote so many down, can't remember them. So take time for the mates. Maybe create a playlist that can help you to calm down if you need it, but also to uplift you as well. Because I've got that on my iMusic or Apple Music at the moment, and there's ways of uplifting your brain to be more productive as well. And you can listen to that on the headphones. You don't have to have it like
that's such a good so I've always like talked about the idea of listening to music to raise your vibration, but actually if you need to wind down, I've never thought about that before. It's a really good one.
The other thing I've started doing, crazy things ever gets up to in the home office, is I put these headphones on that I'm wearing now, and I actually put on, you can find on YouTube, you can find some really relaxing kind of landscapes or like cozy cafe, coffee lounge type music, bit of jazz, classical music, anything like that. And I have it playing at the background, and I feel like I'm in a kind of co-working space. It's strange what it does to the brain music, but I feel more productive when I've got that on. Which I guess will take me nicely into what I'm going to talk about in a little moment as well, but I won't talk about it just now because it might be confusing. So what was the other thing I was thinking of as well? So this is probably mainly for kind of hotter weather, but it could work in the cold if you've maybe got, if you're not very well, but you're still able to work from home. Having a bowl of water, so lukewarm water or really cold water, depends what you prefer in the season that you're in when you listen to this podcast. Pop a little bit of like either peppermint or tea tree into that bowl of water and pop it underneath your desk and put your feet in it. And it's a great cooling down hack. I love it. It just works because it seems to cool down your whole body, not just your feet. And then obviously have a fan on in your space so that you're cool in the hotter periods of the year, maybe. In the colder periods of the year, you can actually kind of use oils like clove and cinnamon and things like that, which are quite festive oils, but they can really warm you up, and ginger as well. So having like ginger tea, I mean, it depends on whether you have any conditions that ginger may make that condition worse, but yeah, it can really help to warm you up and help like if you have like problems like sore joints as well and they get worse in the colder weather. Those types of oils are great for like that kind of thing as well. So that's what I was thinking of putting it out there.
I love that. That's really interesting. I never knew that about the bowl. I might have to try that because I'm quite hot right now. And I always have my fan here, but obviously we're recording a podcast, so it's off. So I'm literally melting. So something like that. So good
there you
to
go.
have when you
I
can't use
should
a
have
fan.
told
So
you about that before we came on today.
Well, you didn't know. I love that though. I love that.
So I think, sorry, double checking. yeah, just keep fresh air coming in. I know it's easier said than done because people don't live where there's a lot of fresh air. So maybe having a fan on or something like what's it called, a dehumidifier and a
Oh yeah.
humidifier as well. That can keep the room cooler or slightly warmer, depending on what you need as well. So yeah, I think
I like
that
that.
covers everything. Yep.
What about for ourselves? So like if we are a
Okay.
busy mum, juggling work, life, business, all
Mm-hmm.
the things like we do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we know now, don't we? Like, I think people are starting to wise up to the idea that we have to take time for ourselves and look after
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So what would be your top tips for taking
Okay.
yourself away if you are a busy mum?
So, it doesn't have to cost much. That's what I'm going to say first of all as well. Literally having that favorite drink that you like to have, so hot tea or maybe you like juice or even just a glass of water, just taking time to just do some simple breathing techniques while you're making that cup of tea or having it in your hands. Which I may have a few ideas. Am I okay to share them with you today?
Yes, you
Is that all
wanted
right?
to. Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first of all, can you all imagine? We need to use a bit of your imagination here today, everybody. You've got a cup in your hands, okay? Now this may seem really like childlike, but it's a great one to kind of get you grounding and to take some time just to give yourself permission to stop, because a lot of people need that in life. So we're going to pop a few different things into our kindness cup, I like to call it, kindness to ourselves. So we're going to put a couple of drops of self-care in, and we're going to stir that up. Brilliant. I love it. How you copying. I love it.
Why not?
And no,
I'll get
definitely go
involved.
for it. Yay. And then a couple of sprigs of kindness. So we'll put them in and then we'll stir it up again. And then we're going to sprinkle in some calm. Okay. There we go. And stir it all up. Brilliant. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath to the very bottom of our lungs if we can, we're able to. If not, we're just going to take it in as much as we can do. And then once we've breathed in all these positive things that we've just put into our cup, we're going to breathe out the busyness and the tiredness. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and out. Brilliant. Back to normal breath for you. And then we're going to take another deep breath in and out. Fantastic. That's really good. We have got another couple that are quite easy to do. They do involve a little bit of stretching, but you can do it with children. So it's always a useful one to have in the book. And a good way to distract their minds if they're about to have a small meltdown. This is quite a good one. I've watched it. It does work, definitely. Okay, so we're going to imagine this is a snowball and we're going to make the snowball go bigger with every breath that we do. Okay, so we're going to breathe in and out. Fantastic. One more time up to the next level. Breathing in and out. Then we're going to do a really, really big snowball. Ready? Breathing in and out. Fantastic. And it's a good way to distract them because they can look at their hands going at different paces if they wish. And it'll just focus their brain to realize they need to bring themselves back down. And it should help them learn how to ground themselves a bit better as well. And it seems to work with like a classroom filled with 30 children. So
Yeah, that's
it's
really
worth a
good.
try. So if that helps at the moment for anybody that's listening or watching this, that's great. Another one for ourselves would be, I'm sure you've probably already seen this one, which is breathing for 5, which we use our fingers for. Have you heard of that one?
No, not
Don't
with the
worry if
fingers.
not. Okay.
No.
So we're going to work our way from the thumb all the way to the pinky. And this is a great one that you can do before, if you get a bit nervous before like a workshop or something like that, you can do it. You can also do it underneath the desk as well, so nobody knows that you're doing it. So we'll try it. So we're going to breathe in as we move our
The Zoom keeps
finger
putting
down.
my hand up.
Oh, don't worry. I love technology.
I
Okay,
know.
so we're going to breathe in and then breathe out as we go up. Fantastic. And again, breathing in and out. We're going to stop here a moment, go back to normal breath because we don't want anyone hyperventilating or feeling woozy. Okay, and then we're going to start off again. Breathing in and out. And in and out. Fantastic. There we go. And you can do that twice on both hands if you wish, depending on how much you need to calm down. There we go.
And for those
How's
who have
that?
listened on the podcast, literally what Emmy was doing was she got a whole hand out as if you're
Yep.
going to do a half five, and then draw your finger like up the thumb, down the thumb, up the finger, down the finger,
Yeah.
pause in the middle, don't we?
Yeah.
And then up and down again. I think that's so cool. I've never done either of those three before. So
Oh, wow, cool.
that's three
Oh,
new techniques for people to
yay.
listen and try. So I hope people enjoy.
Brilliant.
If the people have loved experiencing that, listening to those ideas and want to come and connect with you, where can they find you?
They can find me. I've got yourcalmbarn.com. I think that's right. I think I've got that right. I should know my own website address. Or you can go to Facebook and or Instagram for information as well. These cute little buddies that are part of the Calm Barn, they are on Facebook mainly, but I do share little snippets of them on my Instagram as well, my stories. So yeah, and YouTube. Sorry, putting it out there. There you go.
Yeah, we'll add all your links to the show notes so
Thank you.
everybody can check them out.
Brilliant.
And then the final and a question that I ask every single guest that comes on this podcast, what would be your biggest tip for being organised in your business?
Nice for my business. I love the online calendar. I think it's my savior. It just reminds me of things that I have probably forgotten. So, and then if it's not in my diary, it doesn't get done. But I think a lot of people have said that on this podcast.
They have, but it's
it
such a
does
popular.
work.
It shows that it works. Like I love
Definitely.
Google. Which calendar do you? I use Google Calendar.
Yeah, Google Calendar. Yeah, it's just nice to color code things as well, and it gives you your space. I've chosen yellow as my uplifting self-care time on there
That's
as well.
interesting. Because yellow is my like time off, days off time and holidays.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
in yellow.
Right.
For my kind of time for myself, so anything like exercise, family activities, anything for me, I always put it in green because I think of health when I think of green.
Ah, that's so cool.
So yeah,
That's
but
really cool.
I do love the calendar.
Yeah.
I swan, but I've used it for about 3 years now, and I do swear by it. And obviously, a lot of podcast guests recommend it as well, and it's obviously
definitely
useful. But yeah, thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
joining us today. Definitely go check Emmy and the buddies and everything that she's doing and creating with the Calm Barn and see what comes in future, because I know some of her plans and they're very, very exciting.
They are.
So
they will get there. I'm determined.
yes, that's it. The Calm Barn will not only be just a virtual thing, but it'll be in reality, and you can go to your little cozy corners and enjoy some calm time for yourself or for your family as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.